Hey, welcome back to Wilson Toyota Cyclone Fanatics. I'm Chris Williams. He is Tron, as we're talking with Tron here, and he's still giggling. I have no idea why.
You're wild, man. I'm just keeping it real. You know, we should work on those shirts too. Just keeping it real.
We are, because that's what we do here.
That's it.
When we're talking with Tron at Wilson Toyota, 2212
South Duff Avenue,
beautiful
Ames, Iowa.
Ames, Iowa.
This is great, man.
I even learned the address now. We've done this enough times.
It was funny. I had a guy come up to me and say, "Hey, I heard you and Chris on the radio," and it's weird because he goes, "You two just keep it real." So I think we should run with that.
We do keep it real.
You know?
That's our new motto here, and maybe that will just be the title of this vlog. We're keeping it real.
There you go. You know what? I think we keep it real through this entire video. How
Okay,
about that?
I totally agree.
Can you fanatics deal with that? We hope so.
We just saw a bunch of head nods. Hey, I'm going to keep it real down in Kansas City, Tron. I'm going to be down. I'm actually leaving later on today. Going to be covering the Big 12 Men's Basketball Media Days tomorrow, courtesy of Wilson Toyota of Ames. Always good to change seasons and start talking a little hoops, especially when your football team's been outscored 120 to 27.
Yeah, it's been rough, but you know, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
You know, we got the Merricks coming in. We got all this great new. You know, there's not too many faces we know on this team this year.
So, and this is starting to become a trend. I can't think of all the basketball media days I've covered where it's just like, oh, okay, we got to do a story on the newcomers, and it's like 1, 2, oh, there's 7 of them. You know.
So I think they should get jerseys, and they all should say, "What's her name?"
Yeah, exactly.
Can you do that?
And the biggest problem this year, it's like all the guys people want to talk to aren't even going to play.
Yeah.
So I'm not really going down to cover Iowa State. It's more along the lines of what's going on in the Big 12 this year. Yeah. What do these guys think about Fred Hoiberg? What do they think of the Fab Five who's going to be on the Iowa State scout team this year?
Well,
I won't ask that.
One thing that's great, fanatics, and I'm assuming that you can relate to the same thing I'm going to say here. I'm just glad that we have an inside guy. I'm glad that Chris is going down, because here's the deal. We can send a lot of people that can come back and give us all this fluff. I want us to send a guy that's going to go down there and keep it real. I mean, bring me
real.
Bring me the real, buddy.
Well, I'm going to. So whenever I write these stories and blogs or whatever down in Kansas City, you're going to have that big, beautiful Wilson Toyota logo right beside
Don't you just love that?
Yeah, and I'll be tweeting, so you can follow my tweets at Chris M. Williams or Cyclone Fanatic, and talk some hoops, John. I'm looking forward to
excited, man. I'm excited. I'm sure there's a lot of fanatics out there that they're kind of like me, and we talked about this. You're kind of in the same boat. I'm still in football season.
Oh yeah,
me too. It's been a tough road.
It's going to get better though. They're going to lose on Saturday. There's no. Listen.
So are you picking Texas? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm picking Texas, and as much of a, what do they call it? Game sneaking up on Texas. You know, there's a
sneak attack.
A sneak attack, whatever. You can't sneak up on somebody if everybody's talking about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They know we're coming. I can tell you that. And you know what? I'm taking Texas too. I mean, it's just, no. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean,
keeping it real.
Well, here's the thing, and I just want to go out here, and I want to be. I'm gonna punch you right in the face with this one. Here's the deal. Before the season started, we all sat here and said, we're going to lose to Utah, we're going to lose to Oklahoma, we're going to lose to Texas. What is the big deal? Why is everybody so, oh man, we're really terrible? I read something, and you know me and you, we don't pick on players, okay? We're telling it like it is.
Just keep it real.
I just read something that says we should start Capella, okay? Come on, Cyclone fans, are you kidding me?
Well, I think one guy was pretty much saying that, and, whatever. One guy.
Are you serious?
Hey, listen, I chimed in on that thread pretty quickly. I was blown away that was even brought. Yeah, you know what? You're right. We should start James Capella, a guy you've seen take what? 1 series at Iowa State, 2. Oh, you know what? While we're at it, Tron, we might as well burn Jared Barnett's red shirt at this point.
Well, here's that thing.
Darius Reynolds used to play quarterback. Let's play him.
Well, the thing that gets me is, how do we go from, hey, you know what, let's bench Austin. Did we forget about Tiller? Is he still on the team?
Yeah.
How do you go from Austin to Capella? You just skip. Do you guys still want Tiller, or what's the deal?
Forget both of them. You know what? Hey, Colin Franklin's been the best player on offense. Let him play quarterback.
You know what? Why don't we let Jake Knight play quarterback?
Might as well. Jeff Woody, switch positions.
Wow.
All right. we've beat this dead horse enough. I think you get our opinion on that.
You know, it's ridiculous. You know?
It is. That's the only way you can describe that opinion is ridiculous. You know what? I want to know if you think this is ridiculous. You used to play some ball. You're a lot more familiar with the insides of what happens than I am. Turner Gill, he's your guy. You like Turner?
Yep. He's coming.
He's a Nebraska guy. Went into Kansas and is doing I don't know if I say he's doing an awful job, but he's not winning any football games. New athletic director there. If you're this new athletic director, do you fire him?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Fire him for what? Fire him for taking the athletes that were there, that were bad last year, and saying, hey, I have to take what's here and what's already bad and try to make the best of it.
For the record, I agree with you. But I'm reading Kansas boards and newspapers, and there's a lot of that out there.
It happens everywhere you go. You know, it's like some of us out there that's complaining about the season we're having. You know what? You guys should find Paul, pat him on the back, give him a hug. You know what? Kiss him for all I care.
You think he would hug them back?
Of course Paul would.
If 2Jam went up to Paul Rhodes and said, hey, Coach, can I give you a hug? Would Paul hug him back?
Of course Paul would hug him.
Even after the Capello comment?
Paul's that guy, though. Yeah. Paul's just that kind of guy. But you know what? He spoiled us last year. He done us a favor last year because he's doing what a lot of these coaches is tough to do. You take someone else's athletes, you know, and someone else's schemes, and you say, hey, I know that we recruited you to run the option, but I need you to run the West Coast offense, okay? And you need to be okay with that. A lot of these kids, they've run one offense all their life. That's why they were recruited to certain schools. Now you got a new coach that wants them to do something different. It's difficult, Chris.
Okay, let me pose you this one. Dan Hawkins, Colorado, which we could give two craps about because they're leaving at the end of the year. But this is the type of deal where they just lost a tough one at home to Baylor. And I have a feeling they might lose another tough one to a lower tier team in Texas Tech coming up this Saturday. Is this a deal where it's bad enough in Colorado where you just can the guy in the middle of the year, much like we saw up north of the border in Minnesota?
I don't know if they can him in the middle of the year. I think with them changing conferences anyway, I can see it happening at the end of the year. Right now, you really think about it.
Do you believe in that, though? Canning the guy in the middle of the year like Tim Brewster?
I think it's the worst thing for the kids.
Yeah, okay,
forget about the coaches. In reality, at the bottom line is forget about the fans too. These kids that have been recruited, they're getting the opportunity to play. Don't do that to those kids. Some of those kids, whether they win or not, they really believe in this coach. You know, and that's what it takes. That's why Paul is going to be absolutely great here because the kids believe in him, man.
And I think it's all about longevity. Yeah, Dan McCarney didn't have immediate success like you wanted him to at Iowa State. It took him nearly a decade.
Give him time.
Yeah. So I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, you can't just change things in the middle. It's too confusing.
Well, I remember too. I swear I remember this. Iowa game 2009. The Clones got stomped. Okay, there were people questioning if Rhodes was the guy for the job after one game. So, and it's the nature of being a fan. You know, I don't blame you. You're passionate about it, and that's fine. But let's use our heads a little bit here too. I totally agree with you. I can't guarantee you that Turner Gill is the next Vince Lombardi. But he's proven in the past, if you can win at Buffalo, I mean... You can win. Come on.
Well, the thing is this. You know, there's some great coaches, and there's some coaches that kids just believe in. There's a lot that goes for any of you guys that are athletes that ever play in any sports. It goes it goes a long way for you to be able to believe in your coach. For your coach to say, hey, you can do this, and you believe in your heart and in your mind that you can do it. That's a big difference than a coach just saying, oh, yeah, you can do it.
Have you ever met Turner Gill?
I've met Turner. He's a great guy.
He's just like Tom Osborne is what I've been told.
He's laid back. If you hear him use profanity, I want you to record it. I don't think they're going to get rid of Turner Gill. I think you have to give these coaches time. You have to give Paul time. You have to give Turner Gill time. You have to give these guys time. We got to give Fred time. There's going to take time to turn this program around. Let these guys get their own players in here. And then you know what? If it's 5 years down the line, the guy's still having the same, then can him. I'm with it.
Okay. Well, we're sitting here today in front of a beautiful, is this a 2011 Toyota Camry?
This is a 2011 Camry.
True story here. Like, my wife and I, we live right over by Wilson Toyota here in Ames. And we go for jogs and walks. And inevitably, the only way we can jog is right through the Wilson Toyota parking lot. There's no other direction for us to go, literally. Because we're back in, like, there's the interstate one way, and then there's, like, woods back behind it. So we have to go to Wilson Toyota. We walk by here 2-3 times a week. She's always wanting to stop and look at the Camrys. She loves these things.
Well, you know, I think you buy her one. I think is the key. And
you know what?
For
Once
all
she graduates, I'm in.
Well, stop in. You guys too. This is actually a very nice vehicle. You know what? You don't always have to buy the cars when you come down. Stop down and test drive it. See what you think of it. 2212 South Duff Avenue. You know where it's at, Chris.
I do.
You can tell them where it's at, couldn't you?
2212 South Duff Avenue, right by the South Duff Apartments, where I frequent a lot of my time. I'm going to be test driving one of these bad boys here before too long, because I'm not kidding. Once she graduates, she's in vet school right now. Plan is to buy herself a beautiful Toyota Camry from right here at Wilson Toyota of Tron. I'm going to try and get down to Kansas City safely. We're gonna have your logo all over the place.
It's great.
And you hold down the fort here in Ames until I get back.
I will take care of it. You know what? And just so people know, we don't go everywhere together.
No, we don't. Which is funny because it seems like, especially when I was sitting as away games, it's like I can go out on Friday or Saturday night a little bit. I try to. Where's Tron? He's probably with his family.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't live together. You know.
They call us twins.
We kind of look alike.
They call us twins.
Wow.
So whatever. Maybe we'll all be lucky and bump into each other out on the town some night.
Maybe we should go out on the town together.
Let's do that.
You think that'll shock everybody?
We just need to have a big fanatic bash at Estas.
I think we should. You know what? Basketball season's coming. Maybe we should do a kickoff.
That's a heck of an idea. We're going to talk about that off the air, okay?
You got it.
All right. Tron Smith, we're talking with Tron here at Wilson Toyota, 2212 South Duff Avenue. Getting it down
You're
in
the
beautiful
man.
Ames, Iowa. We will see you next week, fanatics.